In 2012, there were 2 million mobile phone thefts. Now that's one every 24 seconds. I was very good at maths at school. But you'd think with that many thefts, insurance companies will be well versed on how to deal with a claim quickly and efficiently. But one victim's insurance company's tone left him feeling a little bit more than disconnected. Back in autumn 2012, Zeke Iddon, a writer and online reviewer, treated himself to a brand spanking new smartphone.
The phone I got was an iPhone 4. I'm self-employed, so having a phone is really important to me, and I use it all the time.
Using his phone for both business and pleasure, Zeke did what millions of us do and started looking into protection for these expensive bits of kit.
When it came to insurance, I was just looking for something that was no hassle, not overly expensive, and if the worst were to happen, it would get sorted out pretty quickly and I'd get my phone back without any hassle.
12 million mobile phone users in the UK choose, like Zeke, to take out insurance on their phone. So it's no wonder it's a market worth £620 million. The massive growth in the industry is partly due to smartphones and just how much they cost to replace. With that in mind, one company seemed to promise Zeke exactly what he was looking for.
I first encountered Protect Your Bubble, I think it was through TV adverts that were really ramping up at the time.
When Squeak ruined his laptop, he didn't have to splash out for a new one. Thanks to ProtectYourBubble.com, when Squeak lost his iPod, he wasn't downbeat for long.
They caught me in a sweet spot because I was looking for insurance, they were there, everything seemed nice and cosy, so I just went with those guys.
Protect Your Bubble is an insurance company that prides itself on making insurance simple to understand and to buy. Launched in 2008, they have over 750,000 customers in the UK and abroad. They specialise on insurance for gadgets, just like Zeke's smartphone.
Actually getting the cover through Protect Your Bubble was very, very simple. I think I did it in a 2-minute phone call. They were very courteous and professional on the phone. I was satisfied at that point.
But Zeke's bubble was about to burst.
About 6 months after taking out the insurance cover, I was at a concert in London. I went to take a photo of the band, put my hand into my pocket, and to my horror, it was not there.
Zeke's mobile had been pickpocketed from him, and he wasn't the only one. 10 other people at the concert that night had also lost their phones.
The very next morning, I got straight on the phone to the police and registered the crime. I also spoke to my service provider and got the phone blocked, and then, of course, spoke to Protect Your Bubble. Firstly, I was on hold for a good half an hour, and then Protect Your Bubble said that it was a loss and not a theft because it hadn't been forcibly taken from me.
When Squeak had his iPhone stolen, he knew it could be replaced within 48 hours.
Although Zeke had been pickpocketed just like Squeak, Protect Your Bubble told him that under their terms and conditions, he would have to claim for a loss and fork out a £75 excess charge, £25 more than if it had been classed as theft.
After they told me that it was a loss and therefore would have a higher excess payment, I just went with it. I really needed the phone back there and then, so I accepted it, and they sent through the loss form, which I filled out and sent back. And that's when the waiting game began.
Despite having sent back the claim form and the crime reference number, Zeke heard nothing for a week.
So I did what anyone would do, and I tried to call them.
And he did just that, on an old, spare, low-tech phone.
I quickly realised that there was no way to contact Protect Your Bubble without going through a premium rate number, which is infuriating given that I was the one having to chase them in the first place.
But Zeke eventually got through.
At the end of that call, they told me that I needed to wait for a 3-way call that they would conduct between myself and the service provider to find out from the service provider whether I'd blocked the phone. They didn't give me any idea of when this 3-way call would happen, so I hung up and patiently waited.
Maybe Protect Your Bubble are just being thorough, you know, crossing their T's and dotting the I's.
Then I got an email which confused and angered me. They said that they were waiting for a crime reference number on the loss claim.
Right, now things were getting strange. Number one, Why do Protect Your Bubble need a three-way call to confirm he's blocked his own phone? Number 2, Zeke had already sent a crime reference number. And number 3, why would the insurers need it when they had considered his phone going walkies a loss and not a theft?
At this point, I am getting really furious at the company. Weeks have passed, I have to chase them to move the process along every step of the way, and I'm at the end of my tether.
3 weeks had passed since the original loss of his phone, and Zeke's still smartphoneless. So, not quite the 48 hours they suggested in their advert. Zeke wrote to the company telling them of his intentions if they didn't call him back.
There is one particular website that I write regularly for, and I decided to use my standing there to write about Protect Your Bubble and chronicle the journey I'd had with them.
And guess what? They never called him back, so Zeke got writing on his blog.
As soon as it went up, I was getting emails and comments from people who had exactly the same story as me.
Protect Your Bubble immediately emailed Zeke, and then a manager contacted him saying they would personally handle his claim. A few days later, the post came.
When they finally sent me a phone, it was a replacement iPhone 4, refurbished, but it was fine, I didn't care at that point. I got it out of the box and I was thrilled that that nightmare was finally over. And it didn't work. I was back to square one. I sent the phone back, I didn't have a phone, and they were taking a long time to rearrange a replacement to the replacement. And being at the end of my tether, I just emailed them and said, look, I'm going out to buy a phone out of my own pocket. You guys can pay me back. And that's what I did.
And would you Adam and Eve it? Protect Your Bubble agreed. They refunded Zeke the full amount for the phone he bought. However, despite winning in the end, Zeke has been left less than happy.
Overall, based on my experiences with Protect Your Bubble, quite frankly, I'm disgusted at how badly they treat people. Not just myself, but the many customers I've spoken to. They don't want to know. They're very quick to take your money and not very keen to give it back when you do have a legitimate claim.
Well, I wrote to Protect Your Bubble about Zeke's experiences in 2011, and they told me that the claims process for Mr. Iddon was unacceptably long, and we appreciate this must have been frustrating. They yet again expressed their apologies to Zeke, but it seems Zeke may have affected a result for more than just him. They go on to say that since his case, we've significantly improved our claims process. And we've also clarified the difference between theft and loss in order to eliminate any confusion. Good work, Protect Your Bubble, and very good work, Zeke.
If I had to give advice to anyone in a similar sticky point with their insurer, I would recommend to keep records of absolutely every communication you have with them. Keep going as well. Perseverance with a lot of these companies is a big thing. And also, it is important to mention, make sure you're right.
Spot on, Zeke. That does tend to help.
Many people just accept it when things don't go their way. It goes to show that if you really, really feel you've been wronged, it's worth a fight to put it right.